So, you want to make a story set in the future? Thinking about building a technologically advanced world? There are many archetypes of futuristic settings. For example, cyberpunk. But what is cyberpunk, you foolishly ask? Well, cyberpunk is, as I understand it, an aesthetic. An aesthetic of the future. Usually characterized by things such as the wonders of high technology, artificial intelligence, and the grime of low life. See things like Blade Runner and Alita Battle Angel. But we are not here for cyberpunk. I wanted to shed light on some of its derivatives. Keep in mind that all of these archetypes are not exclusive. That is, a story can mix elements from other archetypes. For example, Alita Battle Angel again. It's a mix of cyberpunk and scrap punk. Scrap punk, also called scavenge punk, focuses on, well, scrapped junk. It's usually post-apocalyptic in some way, with a massive event or a gradual degradation of society causing a lot of scrap and machine parts. Opposite of scrap punk is steelpunk. Steelpunk is all about solidly well-built machines. It's all about hardware as opposed to software, as in typical cyberpunk. Technology is big and it takes place in the real world. Robots are tough and made to last. Next is biopunk. It has a focus on biotechnology and the good but mostly bad that comes with it. Body modifications are more biologically oriented than cybernetic. Solarpunk. Solarpunk is a more optimistic view of the future than cyberpunk and most of its other derivatives. Its technology is advanced, but it emphasizes positive interactions with nature and the planet. Good movies with this aesthetic are few and far between. After that is dieselpunk. Dieselpunk has an aesthetic inspired by the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. Imagine if you lived in the world of military cultures, airships, and famous sky pilots. Now imagine you had to come up with a futuristic world with that kind of culture in mind. Dieselpunk doesn't even require diesel itself to be a prominent feature in the world. Sky Captain and The World of Tomorrow fully captures this archetype. Inspired by visionary ideas from that time period, it's retro. Retro-futuristic, if you will. Retrofuturism is art that depicts the future from the perspective of the past. It mixes together the old-fashioned with ideas of futuristic technology, and I like that shit. Lastly, we have steampunk. Like dieselpunk, it's also retrofuturistic. This time inspired by the Industrial Revolution and the proliferation of steam-powered technology. More specifically, Victorian England or the Wild West in the late 1800s and early 1900s. I've noticed that steampunk and dieselpunk, they often overlap, at least a little in themes and technologies. More so than overlaps with other archetypes of cyberpunk. And there you poor fools have it. A general rundown of cyberpunk and some of its derivatives. Let's get 10 likes on this video and I'll make a part 2 going in depth on cyberpunk itself. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and bell icon. Also, leave a comment about your favorite cyberpunk derived movie. That's it. Have a good one.